Thanks for tuning in to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. Here you'll find tips, insight, and information to help your music and your ministry succeed. Whether you're a singer, a musician, or a songwriter, we want to help you where you are, but we also want to help you get to where you want to go. We believe that our talents are God's gift to us, but what we do with those are our gift back to God. Yesterday's information is important, but what we can learn today will make this the best day yet. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the CNS podcast, The Best Day Yet. This is Rob Novell, the host of this here podcast, and I hope this finds you having a great day. And man, it is, what is it? It's July 9th, and it is hot in Georgia. Let me just say that. Last couple days, being out walking, I'm ready for fall. I'm there. I'm ready. So it's kind of easy for me. We are on the backside of CNS. So CNS was June 22nd through the 28th this year. And so kind of for me, it's kind of easy. After CNS, it's like, okay, let's move on to fall. Kind of the next thing that we have coming around the corner will be in QC in Pigeon Forge. I believe it's September 21st through the 27th this year at the LeConte Center there in Pigeon Forge. Such an amazing week. We will have a lot of our staff in for the week. We'll see a lot of students during the week. We will have staff and on main stage each evening in the main auditorium. We will have lots of students part of the artist showcases that take place every morning. CNS is part of that. I host or MC a day or so of that, and we are part of those artist showcase. We give away scholarships to potential students for CNS 26. We'll be doing that here at NQC 25. And just a great week. We get to visit and fellowship, and obviously hear lots of great music. It's a fun week for me because literally my closest friends in my life are under that roof all together for the week. So looking forward to that. But yep, it's hot here in Georgia, and I am I'm ready for the fall. So, all right. Man, I'm excited to get into today's episode. We mentioned I released an episode a couple of days ago and explained we have kind of been offline for a minute, and we're back. We're going to try to keep things rolling and get back on schedule. Lots of things with our change from university to university between CNS 24 and 25. Lots of things took some extra time this past the beginning of 25 here. But again, we're back in the swing of things, and we'll be working on new episodes and releasing new episodes every Tuesday moving forward here, and super excited. Okay, today, I don't know. And full disclaimer, today we this multiple podcasts will spin off of today's what I'm excited to share with today. As I was thinking and kind of fleshing this out and planning this, multiple topics. This thing could go multiple episodes, multiple directions. So we'll just jump right in today. I think, and I probably need to decide because I have to put a title on this eventually when I publish it. So here's what we're going to call today's episode. Today's episode is This Is Not Dress Rehearsal. It is time for the show. This is not dress rehearsal. It is time for the show. So I mentioned in our previous episode again that we just came off CNS 25. Our theme for this year was new season. And I say was because that was attached to the week of June 22nd through the 28th. But we will find ourselves in a new season all the way through this year. moving towards CNS 26. So a lot of our episodes this week are this year, in between CNS 25, CNS 26, we'll be dealing with new season. And when we left CNS 24 a year ago, our theme for CNS 24 was It's Time. And man, what did it's time? What did that mean? What was it time for? I had no idea, but looking back, it was time for a change. It was time for us to find a new university, where we had been at Murray State University for 50 years. CNS 24 was our 50th anniversary on that campus, but God had other plans. Isaiah says that God's ways and thoughts are higher than ours. And so we have to just kind of at times get out of the way and let God be God and change. I've said on multiple of these episodes the last 3 years, Rob is not good with change. And that's the area that God continues to strengthen me and build me up in that word change. Now, reflecting back over the last year, we're going to talk today as well about fear and anxiety a little bit. And man, stepping into the unknown was a scary thing this past year. Honestly, full disclaimer, we had probably the best CNS that we've ever had, but I was operating under a nervous energy all week. I had it all year, kind of leading in, again, in this department of change. New campus, new administration, new contact people that on the business side of CNS that we have to learn, and relationships that we have to understand and work with, and not knowing if we would be staying at Bethel. I wanted to go in. I kept telling everybody, I want us to be low maintenance. I don't want to go in and them not enjoy our camp. Quite the contrary. I have received so much positive feedback from Bethel University. The mayor of the city came out Wednesday night, greeted our students in the evening concert. Just so much positive feedback where they loved us, we loved them, and yes, we will 100% be returning to Bethel University. So leaving CNS 24 with the whole theme of It's Time, didn't truly understand what that meant. It took all year really for God to show it to us, and I think it plugs greatly in. I've told a couple of people this. If we combine 24 and 25, literally it's time for a new season. And that's where we find ourselves with CNS is now walking out a new season. I know for a fact that God has led us to Bethel University, and in this new season, we're planting roots at CNS, or I'm sorry, CNS is planting roots at Bethel University. Wednesday during our week, Paul Secord, the Gospel Road Coach, he is full-time on our staff and absolutely just one of my favorite people. He's a great friend. Wednesday at lunch, I said, man, look around the room and look what God has done. And he said something really deep and profound for me. He said, Robbie, we just needed to replant the flag. We needed to move the flag. And that's what we've done. God has allowed us to go in, have an amazing week, and we're moving forward. We are planting roots, and we are moving into new seasons. I was in our title today. This isn't dress rehearsal. It's time for the show. I've been so encouraged since CNS 2 weeks ago with the volume of feedback that I've received from students that were there, the positive things, the breakthroughs that have happened in their life, the things that God did in their life, but then the music side of things. The neatest aspect about the Charles Novell School of Music, last night I was talking with Tim Owens, one of our key staff members, vocal instructor and one of our staff pastors on the team. And he absolutely said it. I don't know if this becomes part of our branding. No, this will become part of our branding, because he said it perfectly. He said, Robbie, he said, we are basically a discipleship program that just so happens to teach music. And that was always my dad's vision for this school was, Robbie, we need to point him to Jesus. First and foremost, this is ministry for us. This is not just a school of music. We want to make sure that our students are listening for God's voice in their life and their music, and then that'll help lead their ministry. Just today, I put a post up. Every year when we open registration and students register, we build a private Facebook page for each year's school. And I posted earlier today on our private page for CNS 2085 that Landon Ferris, I talked about him in the episode a couple days ago. Landon Ferris had reached out to me and let me know that he has been asked to play the piano for the Kingsmen Quartet this coming Saturday at Jackson Sings the Gospel in Jackson, Tennessee. And then I found out another family, and I believe I talked about them in the last episode, the Kirshner family. This was their first year with us, and it's a family of 8. We just absolutely fell in love with this family. Amazing people, super, super talented. Be looking, be watching, be listening for the Kirshner family. I know God's got big things in store for this ministry. Landon's been with us 3 years. The Kirshners, this was their first year. They are participating in the talent competition that is happening during the Jackson Sings the Gospel this weekend. And then another first-time student, a young lady named Hannah Duffy from Mississippi, attended CNS 25, and she shared that she just had a song published this week. So, man, it's so exciting for me as the director of the school, when I see things like this, man, it makes me so happy, because it ties into today's title. Man, this is not dress rehearsal. We are not just practicing for what God has us to do. These 3 examples are literally walking out what God has for them to do. My biggest thing at the school is I tell the students, first off, at the beginning of the week, I tell them that after I introduce our staff, I let them know, we have highly qualified people here to teach you, to speak into you this week. But I tell the students every year, the effectiveness of our staff, of my staff and my guests that I bring in each year, the effectiveness of the teachers, the instructors, is directly proportionate to the openness of the student. Man, you can pour a pitcher of water into a glass all day long, but if there's a lid on that glass, there ain't a bit of water gonna enter that glass. You have to be an open vessel in order to receive something. So then I also explain and try to portray to the students that this is something that if you sit here all week and you hear all the information given to you, but you don't take it home and apply it, and it's literally not doing you any good. So what we're going to talk on again today, and it's where we find ourselves. This isn't dress rehearsal. This is the show. This is what God has called for us to do, and we need to be actively walking out and involved in what He's placed in front of us, but continuing to be obedient and willing. Isaiah 119, we have to be willing and then obedient. Willing to hear the Lord speak to us, and then obedient to walk it out. The word says we eat from the best of the land. That just means success. That means God will continue to open doors for our lives, our music, and our ministry. One other angle on this, I really don't know why this entered my mind a couple of days ago, only that, the Lord wanted to connect this story that happened to me way back. I was in 4th grade where this story starts, to this week's episode of It's Not Dress Rehearsal. This is, we're walking out the show. in tagging along with what I just said about encouraging our students, to apply this, to literally use this information. When I was in fourth grade, I campaigned and I was voted vice president of the student council. Vice president. Then in fifth grade, I campaigned and I ended up the president of the student council. Now, in those years, Mom and Dad both worked. I would ride the school bus home and I would get off at my grandparents' and I would hang out for several hours with Grandma and Grandpa until Mom or Dad could get off work and come relieve my grandparents of my presence. So I remember getting off the school bus that day in fifth grade when I was voted president of the student council. I remember getting off, running in the house. I could not wait to tell Grandma and Grandpa what had happened at school that day. And I'll never forget going in and saying, Grandma, I got voted president today of the student council. And she said something to me that day. It was the first time I remember hearing it. And man, this little interchange and interaction between me and my grandmother that day has just forever been embedded in my mind. She said, well, Robbie, maybe one day you'll be the real McCoy. And I didn't know what that meant at the time, but once I figured it out, my grandma she must have been cray-cray. She must have been crazy to think I literally that I could end up president one day. But I do remember about 15 years ago, kind of once again, I was thinking of that, but God gave me a different spin on that. Instead of me trying to go through life, look, my background is this, music, right? Now, I know Bill Clinton played a saxophone on MTV. Y'all, that was just to get them young votes. That's the only reason he did that. Look, I'm sure there's been musical presidents, but look, my musical background, that does not qualify me to run this country. Now, this is a total rabbit trail here. I might be more qualified than some we've had in there, but we're not going there today. That's not what this is. A political free zone here at CNS Best Day Yet. But no, what God showed me was instead of being a president, maybe I could set a precedent, right? Instead of president, a precedent. And a precedent is just something that may serve as an example or rule to be followed in the future. I think in understanding that this is not dress rehearsal, we're not practicing. We better not be practicing if we're out ministering this weekend. We need to be, I say it all the time, we play like we practice and we practice like we prepare. We need to be ready. If we're going out this weekend and ministering for the Lord, it's not practice. It's not the dress rehearsal. It's showtime. But what we need to do in this new season is start setting a precedent for what it is that we expect of ourselves. At CNS, it's simple. We believe that an effective ministry is a polished ministry. 100%ly, God gave us his best. When he gave us his son, and my favorite scene in that old movie, Mel Gibson movie, The Passion of the Christ, is where Christ fell under the weight of the cross. And when he's getting up, he looks over to his left down this alleyway, and he locked eyes with his mother. Y'all, this is a mama's boy right here. If that had been me, that's when them 10,000, I would have pulled my cell phone out and I would have called them 10,000 angels and said, come, let's whoop some Roman tail. Let's clean this mess up. But no, listen, he picked that cross back up and he walked the rest of that Via Dolorosa all the way to Golgotha. And he gave us his best. He gave us excellence. So that's what I believe we have to give in return unto him. He did it all for us, and we need to give him our all. So we need to set a precedent in what we do. We need to raise the bar. Man, my dad was a huge bar raiser. I talked to someone yesterday that I'll be announcing probably in August. Actually, a couple announcements we will make in August. Some brand new guests and staff that will be with us at CNS 26. And so those announcements are coming shortly. But in having this discussion with an individual the other day, it came up, my dad. And my dad was a bar setter, and we never reached the bar because if we got close, he just bumped it up another notch. And the attitude in our household growing up was, Robbie, we've got to give the Lord our best. All the way to the end. I shared this story with that individual yesterday as well. My dad passed early in the morning on a Saturday morning, late Friday night, early Saturday morning. It was around 12:20. And Wednesday of that week, I was standing in my dad's bed in that hospital room, and he said, "Hey, Robbie, pull your phone out and pull up your YouTube." Like I owned YouTube or something. And he said, "Pull up Roger Williams, great pianist, way back in the day." He said, "Go to this album, go to this track, like song number 5, and scroll in about a minute and 27 seconds." And when I did, he instantly did this little thing in his right hand on the upper end of the piano. My dad said, "Robbie, here's what he's doing, and here's how you can use that." Man, that's 2 days before God said, "Your race is run, Charles Novell. Well done, my good and faithful," and called him home. So I've come from that background where we just keep bumping the bar up. So let's work on setting a precedent, not only for ourselves, but for other people to see in us. And I do believe that just how we carry ourselves as ministry, y'all. I believe it was Spurgeon that said years ago, preach a sermon every day, and if necessary, use words. Was at the park walking earlier today. You pass people, just a simple smile, y'all, can be ministry to someone. You have no idea what some of those people have faced that day. And just being friendly and just nodding, waving, smiling at someone out in public like that can be used as ministry. Man, and this isn't dress rehearsal, it's a real show. Man, don't wait until it's too late. I remember late 80s, early 90s, before I went on the road in perfect heart, I had to get a haircut to go on the road, because prior to that, y'all, I was part of a contemporary Christian band. Christian rock, contemporary Christian, whatever you want to call it. But our music was a little loud, and my hair may have been a little long, y'all. But we wrote our own material, and I remember a song that we had, "Don't Wait Until It's Too Late." Now, the message behind that song was not missing your opportunity to ask the Lord into your heart, and then waiting until it was too late and you did not have that opportunity to apply the blood to your heart and spend eternity in heaven. But on our topic today, man, don't wait until it's too late to get moving and going towards what it is that God needs you to do. I mentioned earlier we're going to talk a little bit about fear, anxiety. Part of the reason that we don't move into or move out of the dress rehearsal or the practicing phase is fear, anxiety. Listen, I made a decision a couple years ago that I was going to stop worrying about things and just start enjoying life. It hit me. My kids are getting older. I'm getting older. My wife stays young. She doesn't get older. She just gets more beautiful and young. She's like Benjamin Button. I think she's going backwards. But no, there's natural things that we're going to worry about. But if you're spending time worrying about your ministry, worrying about, am I supposed to do this? Has God truly called me to do this? Am I good enough to do this? I had a situation Wednesday of CNS 25. I was on the schedule to play that night in the evening concert, and James Rainey played on Monday night, killed it. James is just that guy. He's that player. He's that good of a player. Roy Webb then played on Tuesday night, and again, just, I mean, a monster of a player. Our entire piano staff is just from top to bottom, just gifted. And I honestly, Wednesday during the school, I remember during the day going, you know what? I'm in charge. Nobody knows how long I'm playing tonight, how many songs I'm playing. And so it just kept getting shorter and shorter and shorter during the day because I'm like, they don't need to hear me. So listen, it is natural for us to question, second guess. But what God spoke into me that day and challenged me with, and I ended up doing what I had planned on doing. But he said, look, if it was about comparing you, Roy, and James, then I would have told you, Rob, to schedule all three of you on the same night. But we're three different players, and we approach what God's called us to do three different ways because God has uniquely, individually called the three of us to do what it is that we do. That's the same thing with you. That's the same thing with your ministry. Quit worrying about, are you good enough? Will the people like this? No, just start living your life. Walk it out. Enjoy it. Enjoy the process. I say this all the time. I believe if we're called to do something, we shouldn't endure it. We should absolutely enjoy it. So quit worrying. Let's start living. Anxiety, that's a real thing, and I always, one of the exciting challenges for me at the beginning of any CNS week is seeing a first-time student come in, scared to death, nervous. CNS, there, it is so hard to explain. You literally just have to experience it to truly grasp what it is that we do and what God has built and what I text our staff today and I said, guys, I don't know that we truly understand the opportunity and the platform God has given us to speak into people's lives. God has really challenged me with that the last 2 weeks, understanding the significance of what we get to do at CNS. But these students, we just try to encourage them and build them up through the week, where on Monday or on Sunday when we check in, we have a class called performance training. That's where the students get up in front of the faculty and the students and other guests and staff members, and they perform, and then we critique their performance. Again, back to an effective ministry is a polished ministry. We want to help everybody remove distractions that would get in the way of God's ministry going forth. All the my biggest pet peeve is somebody getting up and saying, I don't pay attention to how I sing, just pay attention to the words. Man, when I hear that, I am just waiting to get my phone set up to get a video that's going to go viral on social media, because you're telling me what I'm fixing to listen to is going to be really, really bad if you're making those kind of excuses at the beginning. So we want to build everybody up. So with the theme and the title today being, this is not dress rehearsal, this is the show, it's showtime. Anxiety. Let's replace anxiety if we want to quit worrying and we want to start living. Let's replace anxiety for society. Man, let's just boldly walk out in society, out into the world, and let people see who we are that God has created. I believe as Christians, we should be the happiest people. Why do we mope and complain when we serve the creator of the universe? And, if on those days the enemy may try to tell you you're not special enough, you're not unique enough, you're not important enough, you're not good enough. Again, the creator of the universe created us. And the word says, how did he do that? He reached down, he picked up a handful of dirt, and he blew and created man. When he blew into us, he literally placed his DNA as the ultimate creator inside of us. So there is creativity and uniqueness in every single one of us. Man, it's our job to replace worry, to replace anxiety with just living and walking in society confidently with who we are and what God has called us to be. I think we need to think, so much of this is a mind perspective. It's positive thinking. I think to move from dress rehearsal to the real show, I think we need to start thinking positively and not possibly. Meaning, what could I do? What might be coming? What door might be open? Man, let's live in the moment. Let's stop worrying. Let's quit being bound by anxiety. Let's walk into society saying positively, I'm going to take advantage of this situation that God's given me. What's the word also say? If we're faithful with a little, what? He'll progress us. He'll promote us to what he needs us to do next. So let's start thinking positively and not possibly. Man, guys, to wrap things up today, we just really need to start doing it now and quit procrastinating. If you were a student at CNS 25 and you're listening to this podcast, don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait till it's too late. Do it now. Stop procrastinating. I'll put it off. Tomorrow. The only thing that tomorrow has in common with the future is there's another tomorrow after tomorrow. So if you keep procrastinating and putting it off until I'll get to that tomorrow, it'll be the next tomorrow and the next tomorrow, where we need to simply do it now. Last thing I want to leave you with, just a little, I don't know. I'm not an English. This is a music podcast. I don't know if this is an acronym. I think that's what it is, where the words spell something out. Yeah. Look, I have grammar police all up in my world, so I will be corrected. And listen, full disclosure, I'll be the first to raise my hand and say, my fault. If I need to get back on here next week and put a corrected disclaimer, I will. Okay, so a little acronym. GOWYA, GOWYA. It can either mean go on with your attitude or go on with your abilities. Man, listen, mind perspective, we talked about that a while ago. Our attitudes, you all, affect our altitude. How we think about things and negative. If we speak negatively over our lives, over our music, over our ministry, that's what we're going to produce. So we can either go on with your attitude or we can go on with our ability. So just want to encourage you today. This is not dress rehearsal. This is the real show. Man, hope you got something out of this today, and look forward to talking back with you again next week. But until then, just remember that today is going to be the best day yet. Y'all be blessed. Thanks for listening to the Charles Novell School of Music podcast, The Best Day Yet. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter under the name the Charles Novell School of Music. And for more information on CNS and our upcoming events, like our online school, our weekend regional sessions, our creative coaching, and our pastor's retreat, you can visit us at our website at www.cnsmusic.com. As you've listened to this episode, we hope that you've gained some information that you can apply to your music and to your ministry to make today the best day yet.